Unit 3, Situational Fit and Explain. Directions. In this question, you will read a short passage about a campus situation and then listen to a talk on the same topic. You will then answer a question using information from both the reading passage and the talk. After you hear the question, you will have 30 seconds to prepare your response and 60 seconds to speak. Practice test. Practice 1. The university is planning to close the evening class. Read the article. You will have 45 seconds to read the article. Begin reading now. Now listen to students as they discuss the announcement.
Did you read the school announcement?
Yeah, I think the university made a right decision. I took the evening class last quarter, and there were only a few students in the class. It seemed to be so small that nobody could get serious.
I get your point, but students can get better education. I mean, as the size of the class is small, students can have discussions and explore their fields in depth. You know, if the class is too large, the professor can't even cover the whole textbook or related materials. But if there are only a few students, the instructor might go over the chapters and materials.
That makes sense, but as you know, the lectures are given by a TA, so you might not learn from a professional in the field.
You're right. However, a TA is a graduate student who has already studied more than 2 years in graduate school, so he or she is a professional as well. Even though the TAs have less experience, they have passion toward their careers and also care about the students. Moreover, they know exactly what the students want to know because they are also students. Well, I couldn't find that kind of passion coming from professors who have taught for more than 20 years.
I see your point. I remember the TA last quarter. He tried to fill questions and he had enthusiasm in every class. Maybe it'll be better to learn from a TA in a small class.
The man expresses his opinion of the announcement. State his opinion and explain the reasons he gives for holding that opinion. Please begin speaking after the beep. Sample answer.
The man wants the university to keep offering the evening class. The first reason is that he thinks the small size of the class has determined the class atmosphere. Studying in a small class, students can share their studies together and focus on their studying more deeply. While a professor isn't able to cover the book, the instructor in a small class offers a lot of materials related to the day's lecture. Also, he likes the idea that the TA is teaching. He points out that the TAs might not have enough experience, but at least they have passion.
Practice 2.
The university is planning to make a change. Read the article. You will have 45 seconds to read the article. Begin reading now. Now listen to a conversation between two students.
Hey, Monica, did you see the newsletter on the bulletin board in the student center? The school will no longer hold the freshman orientation. Instead, it will give the students the option to choose between going on a hike and participating in games.
Yeah, I've just read it. I think this is a good idea. Until last year, even though the students hated going to orientation, they didn't have any choices. I'm glad that the students can now have the freedom to choose whichever they want, instead of being forced to go do something they didn't want.
Yeah, I agree with you. Last year, I just didn't go, but it seemed like I missed something.
Yeah, now the students have more options. Also, not only do they have more choices, they don't have to go to school on the weekend. Thanks to this change, the freshmen can go and get their new textbooks and school supplies rather than wasting their time on attending orientations.
I think so too.
In the conversation, what does the woman think about this change? What are the reasons for her opinion? Please begin speaking after the beep.
Sample answer. In the dialogue, the woman thinks allowing the freshmen to have the options of hiking and participating in games is a good idea. According to the university, they will give the freshmen a choice rather than holding a mandatory orientation because only a few students participated in previous years. The woman says now that the students have choices. They are free to choose whichever they want. She remembers how last year they didn't want to attend the orientation, so she thinks these options could reduce the pressure to go. Also, the university hopes that this could give students opportunities to interact with other students. And the man says the students can now spend their time wisely rather than wasting their time on weekends attending the orientation. They can now prepare for their new life as university students. Practice 3.
The university is planning to enlarge the library. Read the article. You will have 45 seconds to read the article. Begin reading now. Now listen to a student as he expresses his opinion about the university's new plan.
I totally disagree with this plan. I think it's time for the university to focus on technological features such as computing and telecom networks. Sometimes I find it hard to access the internet with my own laptop in the library because of the speed. You know, if each room features a high-speed network connection, it would be much better for us to study wherever we wanted. And who cares about the chairs and bookshelves? Nobody. Why does the university want to waste the money on things that are not important? It's okay with the wooden chairs. We're not going to stick around there for the whole day. Also, talking about the expansion, we already have plenty of space for students to study. I remember it was last year that the Student Center added more desks and chairs for the students. Wasn't it enough? Anyway, I don't think this is a good plan.
The man expresses his opinion of the announcement. State his opinion and explain the reasons he gives for holding that opinion. Please begin speaking after the beep.
Sample answer.
The man disagrees with the plan to enlarge the library. He believes it is time for the university to focus on technology. They should regard high-speed internet and networking as top priority. He says he is always having a hard time accessing his computer because the networking system hasn't been well equipped. He also says that furniture is not that big a deal. He remembers the Student Center got more chairs and tables last year, so they don't need additional furniture in the library.
Practice 4.
The university is planning to renovate the library. Read the article. You will have 45 seconds to read the article. Begin reading now. Now listen to students as they discuss the announcement.
Did you read the new announcement?
Are you talking about the library renovation plan? Yeah, I was just reading the school newspaper. I'm glad to hear that the IT center is open 24 hours, and they also say we can talk quietly there.
Did you say quiet? Didn't you read the part that the floors would be completed with wood?
Yeah, what's wrong with that? I think the atmosphere would be warm.
Believe it or not, the wooden floors are really noisy. I once had a neighbor who built a house with wooden floors, and it made all the neighbors crazy. Boy, it's such a distraction.
Yeah, you're right, especially if there are people wearing heavy shoes. That will surely exacerbate the problem.
And talking about the walls, whoever cares for the painted walls? How long do you think the brightness will last? The walls easily get dirty. I bet it's going to last for only a few months.
I guess you're right. Sometimes there are students who even make footprints on the wall.
It's just a waste of money. I think the university should use the money on other things.
The man expresses his opinion of the announcement. State his opinion and explain the reasons he gives for holding that opinion. Please begin speaking after the beep.
Sample answer.
The man disagrees with the new plan to renovate the library. One reason he gives is the floor. He says it's not a good idea to install a wooden floor. The man gives the example of when he lived next to a neighbor with a wooden floor, and he couldn't stand the loud noise. He believes a wooden floor would bother him and the other students, so that they could hardly focus on studying. Another point is the walls. Even though the walls are painted, he says they will probably get dirty easily. So for these reasons, he is against the plan.